Happy Friday, beautiful people. How are you? It is me, Dr. Sylvia Boley, your dual board certified integrative obesity specialist, founder of Embrace You Weight and Wellness, and the host of the Embrace You Hot Topics in Weight Loss show. And you know what we do here? This is our 9th episode. Whoop, whoop. And there's so many people who come in every week. I am so grateful for you from the beginning, my day ones. Thank you for being here. So you know what we do here. And if you're new here, let me tell you what you do. Embrace You is your safe space where you can come and you can talk about those hot topics in weight loss and be assured that you're going to get some nerdy scientific information, but also get it from a place of compassion and love. Here, we practice a body, mind, spirit approach, and we really make sure we integrate your individuality. Why? Because there is no one like you. And so that's why we want you to embrace you in whatever you do. So this is another amazing week. As you're checking in, I see y'all telling me where you're from, where you're watching from. Hey, Dr. Angela, this is a special show. Okay, because today I am going to be joined by a member from the Overcoming Obesity Club. Now, what's Overcoming Obesity Club? So during the pandemic, y'all, first of all, I launched my practice, Embrace You, during the pandemic. And on that entrepreneurship journey, I also met so many incredible people. And then Overcoming Obesity Club was one of those opportunities. I co-founded this club in March of 2021 with my colleague and sister friend, the beautiful Dr. L. Flowers. And what we did is we gathered a group of people from different professions who had all personally gone on our own weight loss term wellness gain journey. And none of us had done it the exact same way. And we were men, we were women, we were all pigmented, melanated people. And it's beautiful, right? And so we were meeting faithfully every Thursday up until pretty recently when life started lifing, right? And things changed. But other than that, we met consistently and learned so much, and were able to inspire thousands of people through the past few years. So of course, now that I have the Embrace You Hot Topics show, I was like, I got to bring some of my Overcoming Obesity people back. So I'm so honored and grateful today to be joined by a few people. Now, unfortunately, Dr. Angela Clack, who's I'm giving her a shout out because I already see her in the comments, wasn't able to join us, but she'll be here on the next show. But I do have Coach Rick Childs. Rick is amazing because he lost over 100 pounds and has been able to maintain it for years. And so we are going to start off the conversation together and use that to encourage you. So Rick, welcome, brother. Please, can you tell people who you are, where you are, and then give them a little teaser about your story, because I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty details as we talk.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Sylvia, for having me on the show. My name is Rick Childs. I'm a health renewal coach, a speaker, and an air fry king. So for me, I'm coming out of the DMV, so we're in the same neighborhood, same area. So that's where I live right now. And just a little bit about my story. Back in 2016, I was like, Dr. Sylvia said, I was overweight, had 311 pounds, had a host of health issues. And the light bulb had to go off at some point because all of those health issues were, weight related. And it was something that I needed to take care of. When I got with my doctor, he talked to me and something just went off and the journey started. So that's where I started, lost 122 pounds in 7 months, just eating clean and working out consistent. So, but there's so much more to it, but that's where I started at.
I love it, Rick. You know, I love your story. And, the topic today is make up your mind, weight loss and mindset. And I know you are the mindset master. So we're going to be talking a lot about that. And of course, the mindset shift at the end is going to be release I'm on a diet and embrace I'm building a better lifestyle. Because it's not just for that one little short term thing, but like the lifetime. So we're going to be talking about that. But I see that your brother Brandon has rolled backstage, and Brandon also has a remarkable story because he has lost over 200 pounds and kept it off for over a decade. So, Brandon, I won't do injustice. I'll let you introduce your own self and tell people a little bit about, tell us who you are, where you are, and give us a teaser about your story.
Hey, Dr. Sylvia. Good afternoon, Brother Rick. Yeah, as Dr. Sylvia said, my name is Brandon Wood, and I started my health and wellness journey in the fall of 2006. I lost 247 pounds in 2 years and 2 months, and I've been able to successfully keep it off for the last 15 years. I'm located in Richmond, Virginia, and wellness has just become something that I've become very passionate about. Um, I was from age 13 to 30, over 350 pounds for the majority of my adolescence and early adulthood. And in 2006, I just decided to make a change to reclaim my health, and there was no looking back for me at that point. So that's a little bit about my background. I also do work in the food industry, so I've been in that industry for about 23 years. So when it comes to nutrition and wellness, I have a little bit more knowledge than the average working person because food is how I make my living.
Yes, I love it, Brandon. Thank you again. It's, you have, y'all, I learned so much. And that's what I want to tell you. Like, learning is lifelong, right? We can't think, oh, I got this degree and I do that, so I know everything. Like, I've learned so much from these gentlemen, and we've learned so much from each other just through the 2 years working together. So I'm excited about this discussion. So, all right, so we got DC in the house, the DMV in the house, we have Richmond in the house. Where are y'all watching from? Tell us where you're watching from. I don't see, usually the chat is filled with people telling us where you're watching from. Let us know where you're watching from, and we're going to keep this conversation rolling. So, just a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today. So, how many times, just about, I know you're typing in where you're from, but I want to know how many times have you tried to lose weight? Like, really, how many times? Because, like, type that in the chat, because the CDC data shows that over 50% of people have tried to lose weight in the last 12 months. And it's more if you, depending on where you live, if you're a woman versus a man. Like, so how many times? And in Embrace You Weight and Wellness, in my program, I always try, pull people to see how many times. And yeah, and it's at least 4 times. I see Dr. Angela says at least 5 times. Irma says too many to count. So, and the problem with it is what you'll find, and I have gone through that journey. Y'all know my story. I've lost 40 pounds and kept it off for the last 8 years. And I was a chronic dieter before that. And the thing is, like, you get kind of addicted. Like, you get that new diet, that new program, that new pill, you lose some weight, and then you stop doing what you're doing and it comes right back, right? So, and if you are one of the few people like these men on this stage, like myself, who have been able to keep the weight off for more than a year, guess how many people are able to do that? What percentage of people? Only 5% of people are able to do that, according to National Weight Control Data Registry. So, each person has been able to maintain it. And what we want to give to you today is helping you find your unique body, mind, spirit tools to be able to keep it off. And where I always start with this is really by understanding what are your triggers, right? We're talking about mindset. But yes, free your mind and the rest will follow. We're going to get really nitty gritty. But I want to start with just us talking about the body, because as we talked about in previous shows, it's not just weight loss in versus weight loss out. There are over 100 triggers. And I hope y'all remember from last time where y'all taking notes of the things. There's over 100 triggers so that can cause it. So hormones, right? Your where your genetics, where you're from, all of those things can play a role. Your access to food, your upbringing, all these things play a role, how you were raised with this. So knowing those your triggers can be really helpful for you. So today I really want to talk to the start with by asking the panelists, have you found your triggers on your weight gain journey? And we're going to start by talking about the body triggers. So I like to tell people my weight gain triggers for me are, of course, genetics, right? And pregnancy. That's a big one. I gained 60 pounds with each pregnancy, even though I had totally different lifestyle. One was very healthy, one wasn't. So pregnancy is a big one. But then also poor stress control, people pleasing, perfectionism, and then my drug of choice, cheap pizza. Can't be the bougie pizza, got to be cheap pizza. So knowing those things about myself, that's part of what has been able to help me maintain, because I know, okay, I can avoid or work with these kind of triggers. So I'm going to start with you, Rick, because I know your journey. Tell them a little bit about how you discovered what your triggers are, and then what are yours
Oh, well,
from a.
thank you, Dr. Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, and it's a whole list, but for me, what I found was some of the triggers were what I call pauses and breaks. So for me, when I get real busy and I take break, then I tend to have a tendency to get off of my normal routine or get off track, which means that I'm not following the plan that I've been on, that I've been successful. And what ends up happening is during that break, it may be a month, it may be 2 months, and I'm eating whatever. I'm pretty much giving myself, permission to eat what I want, but I'm still doing, the work, but I'm not doing it at the level that I know I need to do it in order for me not to start going back into my head. So that's why mindset's such a great topic that people don't realize that will help you long term. So yeah, taking those breaks when you get too busy puts me back is one of my triggers.
Oh, I love that mindsets and breaks. That I love that breakdown on it. And I think you highlight something too, because we don't talk about this enough, is there is a cycle. Like in the Embrace You book, I talk about the weight loss, weight maintenance cycle, right? And so your body kind of goes through phases. You're losing weight, hit that plateau. It's kind of like the body needs to decide which way is it going to go. Weight regain, maintain, or continue losing. And a lot of times, what tends to happen too when we go on those breaks, we send our body the wrong signal that triggers it to then should it starts to regain or maintain, or it's not going to lose because that's not the default, right? It's going to maintain at best, but you're probably going to regain. So it's important to know that. I like how you frame that, because depending on where you are in the cycle, like those breaks can really break down all the progress you made. So when we talk about mindset, we'll get to that. But I want to hear Brandon's triggers that he's found on his journey.
Mine is a little bit different, and it's weird when you hear people say it, but the weight room is was my trigger. I was lifting way too heavy, and I was adding a lot of dense muscle mass. And one of the things on the journey that people don't understand is whether it's muscle or fat, like your body is still having to work extra hard. So, for me, I went from like 213 pounds back up to 230 pounds, but it was all muscle. But it
Mm-hmm.
slowed down. It slowed down my running. It was affecting my sleep. It was
Mm-hmm.
starting to affect my joints. Like I was always hurting or pulling something. So the weight room was one of the things that I had to really adjust and pull back from, because it wasn't necessarily bad weight gain, but it was making my body work a lot harder than it needed to work. And then from a nutritional standpoint, it's the excess carbohydrates. Carbs turn to sugar, sugar turns to fat.
Mm-hmm.
So having the right mixture of your nutritional thing to feed your body. At 45 now, I treat my body as a sports car, so it needs premium fuel. It needs premium upkeep. So now, I've changed the way I think about food. I changed my attitude towards the way I fuel my body, because if I'm going to get peak performance, I have to put the right things in it. So the weight room and excess carbohydrates were probably two of my triggers, and I figured those things out and how to maintain and get away from it.
Yes, Brandon. Oh my gosh, you just said so much in there. You know, my little nerdy scientific brain is like, but you said so much in there that I want to touch on. So let's start with the easiest thing. Food is fuel, right? Because I got a whole chapter on that. Like, that's a major mindset shift, right? Releasing that I have to go on a diet to lose weight, and then embracing food is my fuel. You're eat to live, like you're eating to live, and knowing how to fuel your luxury vehicle properly. I wonder what kind of luxury vehicle are you, Brandon? I'm an Audi.
This is a Ferrari F430 all day
All
long.
right. Rick, what kind of luxury vehicle are you? He's just laughing at us.
Well, no, well, Brandon stole mine, so I'm gonna go to an Audi A7.
Yes, I love it. All right, y'all. Everyone in the chat, type what type of luxury vehicle you are. Go ahead. I'm telling you, we're talking about mindset shifts, because you're not going to put cheap gas in your Audi, right? In your BMW, Dr. Angela, in your Ferrari, because you know what's going to happen when you put that cheap gas in. It's that car is not going to run the way it should, or for as long as it should. But all the time, we are treating our beautiful bodies, our beautiful, luxurious bodies that we've been gifted and given, like it put in by like trash, by putting crude oil. We're not even putting fuel in it. We're putting crude oil in it. This processed food, this excess sugar, all of that kind of stuff. So we need to really pay attention to that. And I love that Brandon said the excess carbs. So knowing what is the right amount for your body is so important. And the thing about it, that the body naturally stores carbohydrates. So if you're trying to lose weight, really reducing, I'm not saying everybody got to go keto. So don't even say, Dr. Sylvia said everybody needs to be keto, but but knowing what is the amount for your body is important. And for most people, that's going to be somewhere about 100 grams, 150 grams per day if you're a counter. So, or about 30%. 30 to 40% of what you're taking in. So knowing that is important. Then Brandon said something else about weight gain, which is so important. And I'm actually about to write a piece on this, is that he was building muscle, but it was too much. And a lot of times we just talk about weight as total body weight, but it's important to know, is it fat or is it muscle? And our goal is always, we're trying to lose body fat and build muscle. But that we could do a whole nother segment just on what he's talked about with carrying too much muscle weight, because that's something unfortunately we don't see enough. We don't see a lot of. But I think it's important to listen to your body and know the signals it's sending you. And remember, when we're having this discussion of weight loss, it really is about losing fat and on excess body fat, not just all your fat, because you need some fat, but losing excess body fat so that you can build so that you can build a healthy weight, like we talk about. So thank you, Brandon, for bringing up that point as well. So the other thing I talk about, like last week on the last show, we talked a lot about weight gain triggers, and it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. So we talked about 3 effective ways to address body triggers. So we've talked about some here: excess carbs, right? That goes in the food category. We talked about fitness as one of the categories. We talked about just knowing what the cues are for your body, like what are those life changes. So stress is a big one, and transitions is a big one. So I gave the people 3 effective ways, really 4 effective ways to address your body triggers. And I wonder if anyone remembers them. So I'm gonna pause for a second. If anyone remembers them, it was 3 M's, if you remember. All right, there's a delay, so I'll go ahead and say it. But so number 1 was the first M was mouth. So 3 ways to address your body triggers. We're talking about it. Mouth. So what are you eating? Remembering food is fuel. It's almost like these guys, we always talk all the time. And then the other M is movement. So, how are you combining your movement? And I know that Brandon is like a movement expert, and Rick is the mouth expert. So, and then medications and medical interventions. How can we address those medical root causes? And obesity is a disease associated with over 236 other diseases. So, addressing those root causes. And then last but not least is mindset, which we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about. So, I really want Brandon or Rick, go ahead first and talk about number one, mouth. How did you address the food issue, make food your fuel on your journey?
I've been Dr. Sylvia. So when I first started, the mouthpiece of it, I didn't do really well. It was probably 2 years into my journey that I started to really understand how to refuel my body and how important the nutritional piece of it was. Because you always hear people say you can't outrun a bad diet or you can't outwork a bad diet. But in order for you to get your nutrition, because I don't like the word diet because it sounds restrictive. It sounds like you're trying to eliminate things out of your lifestyle. And really, what it is, it's about moderation, and
Mm-hmm.
it's about changing the way you think about food. Because working in the food industry, like we celebrate so many of our wins and losses in life around food, whether it be celebrations, anniversaries, birthdays, funerals, promotions. Like we always want to eat, but it took me about 18 months to reshape how I was preparing my food, the things that I was putting in my body, and I look at people and when I advise people now, if you're having a bad nutritional plan, to think that in 3 weeks that you can go completely 180 degrees and be clean, like that's too much change for the human body in too short period of time. So like you have to incrementally step, and like incrementalization is a really big thing when you're trying to get your nutrition correctly. You have to baby step this thing if you want learn long-term success. If you think about it, if you pull a band-aid off really quick, it hurts in that moment, and then you kind of forget about the pain. Like you really have to put together a plan, and you have to work that plan, because just because you make the decision to change the way you think about food doesn't mean that your body is going to accept that change that you're trying to make it have. So find one thing that you want to do really well and lock into that for a month. And when that becomes a routine thing for you, then change something else. And over 6 months, you've eliminated six bad habits and you have six good habits now. And if you do that in the course of a year, you can eliminate 12 bad habits or bad choices. And now you've replaced them with 12 good choices. So that's not really 12, that's 24, because you eliminated 12 and you gained 12. So now you've really started to reshape. And if you do that for 2 years in a row, when you look back at it, it's easier for you to make the right choice for your body because you've done it in a slow process. You've given your body time to adjust to the nutritious, healthy stuff that you're putting in it. And now the junk doesn't taste good anymore because your taste buds have reshaped themselves. You're looking for fresh fruits, you're looking for fresh vegetables, you're looking for whole grains, you're looking for things that taste well, that you're not just kind of rolling over your taste buds just to throw something in. And I'll close on it is no matter how busy you are in life, take 30 minutes, 45 minutes to consume your nutrition. Eat slow and enjoy the taste of your food. And it takes you from overeating. So many times we're grabbing something at work or on the go because we're trying to get from point A to point B, and we're not taking the time to savor and enjoy the things that we're putting in our body. And like that's a really important thing, to just slow down in life, put the right things in, and enjoy the things that you're eating. Because if you enjoy what you eat, eating is not as bad as people make it seem sometimes, especially from a healthy standpoint. And I'll land there.
Absolutely. I love so much of what you said. And first, I want to just so reframing, because this is all mindset. So I got rid of good versus bad out of my vocabulary regarding food, right? I think that I like to frame food as is helpful or unhelpful. And that takes the judgment, that takes the shame, that takes the blame off of the food and judging the food. So is it helpful or is it unhelpful for you? Because I like to use the example of broccoli. Like broccoli, right? Is typically people are like, oh, it's a good food, right? Broccoli's good for you or whatever. Broccoli, as Brother Rick might say, might not be good depending on your genetic makeup for you and other things like that, right? And also for me, like broccoli, it's good or helpful depending what time of day I eat it. If I eat broccoli at 11 p.m. at night, it is not helpful for me because I will be bloated. It will disrupt my sleep. And then that's going to mess up my whole body's natural hunger hormone reset pathway. And the next day I'm going to be craving more sugar, all because I ate a good food, quote unquote, at the wrong time. So I like to really think about food as helpful versus unhelpful. And I find that that's really helpful for my clients who really struggle with emotional eating, who struggle with a lot of food anxiety and a disordered relationship with food, because we have so long been taught to fear our food, right? And I love what Dr. Angela said. Yes, enjoy your food, taste it, savor it, love it. So, like, even if you choose to indulge in a food that is not the most helpful for you, that you're really slowing down and really appreciating the food that you're eating whenever you decide to do it. So I love those two tips you gave, really starting slow, because and I think, look, slow is a dirty word in the weight loss industry because everybody wants to do it fast right now, lose 20 pounds in 20 days, like all of this. But I love what you said. It took you 18 months to figure it out. Now that's again because a lot of us, we did it on our own. When we work with a client or you work with a coach, like, or a physician who's trained in obesity, they're going to help you get to figure out what works for you quicker. But it really is important to give yourself time. Even still, even working with someone, it's going to take time. It's going to take a process. Like, I give all the information to my clients from the beginning, but they have to evolve in their journey with what works with them with the food and such. So thank you so much, Brandon, for those points. Hey, Dr. Keena. Dr. Keena is another one of our featured moderators on the Overcoming Obesity Club. She's traveling today, couldn't make it, but she should be with us in 2 weeks. So I'm excited. And y'all have seen her here during Maternal Health Month as well. So good to see you in the comments, Dr. Keena. Have a safe trip too. All right, Brother Rick. So one of the tools, so Brandon held it down for the mouth. You want to tell us a little bit about movement or medical interventions, because you actually have a interesting journey with the medical field and how that played into your own weight loss and your own healing journey. You want to share about that and whichever part?
Okay. Yeah. Well, all three of them, but definitely the medical. So for me, put a team of doctors together, which started with my general practice doctor. And then as I started through this journey, well, especially after, and this is where it really became the game changer for me, was after I lost the weight, 122 pounds. What I saw was people around me were falling back into their old habits.
Mm,
So what I realized was I needed to do something past that. And
mm,
doing it was involved nutrition, but it definitely involved the medical side of it. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to get off the pharmaceutical drugs. So I went holistic. But I not only did I go holistic for myself, but I incorporated my whole family, whole lifestyle, everything in that. So that involved adding to the general practice what is it? A holistic doctor, a
naturopath.
holistic
Sorry.
nutritionist. Yep, naturopath.
Mm-hmm.
Holistic nutritionist. Went through several programs, got all these labs done, and I took that information and I put it all together and I started formulating what I call becoming an expert of self. Being my own expert, understanding what nutrition, what movement, sleep, hydration, all of those things, what it will do for me and get me to be the best version of who God created me to be. Because that's the other thing, that when we have to take it to the spiritual first, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have a saying where return your temple clean,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is we have to look at what are we doing that's taking away from that. A lot of times it's our nutrition, but spiritually, where are we going from that part, and then we go into the mental component of it, which you're talking about mindset. So for me, like I said again, was putting a team of doctors together and then finding what really works for me. And also, I eat based on my blood type. That was another game changer, and it really allowed me to go deeper into what were my challenges as a child, because I was losing weight, up and down. I had a yo-yo diet all my life, but the
Mhm.
difference was it became a lifestyle. But I had to
Mhm.
have all these different components in place in order for it to become a lifestyle and for it to be able to stick.
I love that. And yeah, Angela says, I love that. Expert of self. Yeah, embrace you is really becoming and understanding what works uniquely for you. So I love that expert of self. Now, you did say something about holistic doctor, and I want to clarify. So, um, I consider myself holistic, right? I'm an integrative obesity specialist, so meaning body, mind, spirit. I do use pharmacological medications, but specify that to the person, like what works best for them is not putting everyone on the same medication. I think a lot of times, and so I want people to understand that holistic doesn't mean anti medicine. For some people, it could mean that, but holistic really should mean looking at the whole person. And honestly, if we're going beyond just treating people, and I'm going to get off my soapbox, and helping people heal, we have to look at the whole person. We have to look at the person, not just physically as a medical condition, but also emotionally and spiritually, and seeing all the parts that make up that person. So I just want people to know that out there are different types of doctors. There's integrative, but there's also naturopathic, which he mentioned, which those are people who are specially trained to use certain sort of herbs in a way that allopathic, a MD or DO may not know. So I refer people to naturopaths as well, because sometimes they have a deeper knowledge of a lot of herbal medications, and also the interplay between the herbal medications and the pharmacological drugs we prescribe, and even getting really to those really deep root causes that sometimes we may not screen at. It can be life changing. So it is important to have a team, and to have doctors, clinicians on your team who are open to helping you get the change that you need is so important, in treating that whole person. Now, last but not least, let's all of this feeds into the mindset, right? All of this feeds into the mindset. So it's May, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we know that mental health is closely tied to weight regain and even the development of obesity. People with obesity are 37% more likely to have depression, to have anxiety. So it is just so important that we also realize that with carrying extra weight, you have more experiences of weight bias, people judging you because of your size, people, and then if you're in a black body already, that adds to the racial and then the gender and sexual bias as well. So all of these things play a role, not to mention stress and depression. So when we talk about mindset, next week we're going to talk a lot more about mental health. We're going to have Dr. Angela. I can't wait to have her on our next show. But let's talk about backing up to mindset, which is a period of which is, I'm sorry, a set of beliefs that inform your decisions. So people throw this word mindset around, mindset all the time. I really would like you guys to share a little bit about, like, what is mindset for you, and what changes in your mindset did you have to adapt to be able to keep off 122 pounds, 216 pounds. You're making my look, no comparison, but you're making my 40 pounds seem like nothing. No comparison though. First mindset release comparison. All right, y'all, go ahead. Share with us about mindset. Like, what is mindset to you, and what is the mindset you had to adapt? Mhm. Oh, Rick, Brandon, go ahead,
Yeah,
Brandon.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I'll go
I'll
ahead.
go ahead and go first. Go ahead, Rick, and I'll hop in after you.
Okay,
Tell
all
us
right.
about your Power of Choice Club too, because they also run that. So that's why I say they're the mindset masters. Go ahead.
Yeah, most definitely. So Brandon and I do on every Sunday on the Clubhouse platform, the Power of Choice Health and Wellness Club, and we've been doing it. We're going on 2 years now, and we show up consistently, and it's about getting your mind right. It is, it, you know, it what it does is we start that Sunday, and get your mind right for the week. We come in and we talk about so many things, and Brandon is such a wealth of information and wisdom, because like you said, he has the inside view of the industry that most people do not know about. So he's been such a blessing to me and in my life, my family. So I thank him for being a part of that, along with the other moderators that are along with us. So, but mindset's a big thing for me. And one of the things that I had to understand was, and I mentioned it earlier about pauses and breaks. I just turned 60 in March 27th. And what I realized was, oh, thank you. So what I realized was that I was taking breaks during my normal workouts. I work out 4 days a week. I do a mixture of high intensity and lift weights. And what I found was I would take a break and it was harder. It may be a month or 2 months. And what I found, it was harder coming back, bringing my endurance back up, getting, it's not feeling heavy, just feeling a certain way. So what I realized was at this stage in life, I can't take any more breaks. I can take pauses now, because breaks bring pain, pauses bring rest. So I can take a day off here and a day off there, and I'm okay. So I had to understand that part, and I made my mind up. I can't take any more breaks to continue this journey. And then the other thing is, I'm a firm believer in words. I like to take words and manipulate them. So I don't believe in goals. I believe in missions. When you say a mission, what you're set to do, it brings more seriousness to it. You have to put things
Mhm.
in place. So it's just those different things that I do in order to trick my mind. And then also too, that when I coach, that's what I present to people. I love quotes and mottos and things like that, which help us to remember and bring back into what we're doing and why we're doing
I love that, Rick. Mission, not goals. That's powerful, very powerful. So thank you. And that just shows like how you've been able to maintain by shifting from goals to mission. You're on a mission to change. Now you said something about your breaks not being. Can you repeat what you said about breaks versus pauses?
Yeah, like I said, because I've been doing this for the last over 6 years now, where I'm working out 4 days a week, and what I found was when I took off and I wasn't on my normal routine, it was harder to come back. I would lose some endurance, I would lose, some stability in my workouts, and I noticed that, and it's like I've been doing that for a period of time, and I had to realize that I can't take those breaks anymore because those breaks cause pain. Because there's a whole, injuries and different things that you go
Mhm.
through in the breaks. But when you take a pause, we all need a pause. We need to, rest our minds and our bodies at some point to reset. So then I realized the difference between a pause and a break. So normal breaks for me is mainly pauses.
I love that. And from a scientific perspective, like muscle deconditioning starts within 48 hours. So I try not to go more than 2 days without a workout for those nerds of us who need some numbers. I try to go no more than 2 days, max 3 days, because you're right. You'll start to get that deconditioning and slowing down, more prone to injury. And then also, if you are going on a longer break, giving yourself more time to rev back up, and instead of just going right where you left off is important too. So I love that. All right, Brandon, take us home. Tell us about the mindset. What is mindset to you, and what are the mindset changes you had to make? Mr. Two, no, I won't just call you that. Mr. Woods, who has lost 260 pounds and maintained it 15 years. Go ahead.
For me, waking up every day is a new opportunity. And the way I frame my life is when I wake up in the morning, that's going to be the best day of the rest of my life. And like for me, um, being captive for being heavy for so long, I of living in the moment. Like I gave up so many things that people take for granted early on in life. Being able to ride roller coasters and being
Mm,
able to do just normal things, going into a store, shopping for clothes. I just don't think that people realize, and like I've lived my life in reverse. Most people gain weight as they get older. I lived my life as a youngster extremely heavy. At 45, I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my entire life, and that's not a thing that a lot of people can say. But I look at incrementalization. I want to make today the best day that it can be. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. So you have to live in the moment. You have to take advantage of every opportunity that's in front of you that day. Yesterday is gone. You can't get it back. Time is something that you can spend, but you can't buy.
Mhm.
So the time that we waste, the procrastination, the self doubt that we put in, it's like I go 100 miles an hour every day. And at the end of the day, the end of the night, I don't leave anything on the table because I'm not guaranteed to get to redo it tomorrow. And when you seize your opportunities and when you live your life in the moment and you take care of every opportunity, picking up the phone, calling somebody, telling them that you love them, making a better choice when it comes to eating, being intentional with your movement. Because I know a lot of people that go to the gym, and I know a lot of people that don't work out, but they're going into the gym 5 days a week. Being intentional about your movements, being intentional about your actions, um, not procrastination. Procrastinating, I tell people all the time, procrastination is the thief of success. We
Mhm.
tend to put things off because we feel like we have more time. And like time is just a resource that's not renewable. Like once we spend it, it's gone. So like once I started to embrace living in the moment and trying to get the best out of myself every day, um, everything changed for me. Like I run it hot every day. Like I probably move more than most people. I move more in a day than most people move in a half a week. But that's just where my body is right now. And it took me a while to get to this point. So I tell people that first start, if you look at my numbers, I am not a traditional case study by any means when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to movement, when it comes to hydration. But I've been doing this for almost 2 decades. So if I were where I was at year two, at year 16, I've cheated myself out of so much in life. And if you do it for 16 years, you're going to be much better at it. Trust and believe me. The smallest changes make the biggest difference. So like now, I just don't I just don't focus on the things that people tell me. I have a plan, I have my mission that's in front of me, and I work my plan every day like it's the last day I'm going to live. And when you seize your opportunities as that, as if I'm not going to be promised tomorrow, every night when I hit the pillow, I know I didn't leave anything on the table. I know I didn't miss an opportunity because I take advantage of everything that's put in front of me. And life is so much richer for me now. I've met people like Dr. Sylvia. I've met people like Rick and Dr. Angela and Dr. Keena. The conversations, and as they say, your net worth is your network. And the network of people that I associate myself with, you can't help but win because those people inspire you to do things that you never thought you could do. And that's all mindset is believing that you can do the unbelievable. And at the end of the day, you'd be surprised at where you end up if you just believe in yourself.
Whew. Oh my gosh, Brandon. Lord, drop the mic. I got so many songs in my head because I'm always thinking in music. I'm not going to sing right now, but you said so much, and I think what I heard, like from everything, is mindfulness. Mindfulness. We talk about mindful eating, but mindfulness is just the practice of being in the moment, taking the most of what you have right now. Enjoy the present. It's your gift. Enjoy the present. It's your gift. And so often we're so worried about the future. We're so caught up on the past. We let the moment right now go. And I love what you said because it also can help you remain consistent. Because if you're not worried about like how I'm going to maintain this, what I'm going to do, what am I going to do tomorrow, if I'm going to feel like doing it, but you're just like, all I need to worry about right now for this choice is that I'm going to choose to have this smoothie instead of choosing, a candy bar, like whatever it is, like that one choice in the moment, and just take it one choice at a time. It really does add up. And that's really what has helped me too on my journey as well. So Dr. Angela says, like, this has been an amazing conversation. I miss you all. We miss you too. So yes, we've had so many wonderful conversations in the past 2 years. Well, y'all, I could talk to you all day You know how it goes, but we got to start wrapping up this conversation a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and transition to the mindset shift as we are wrapping up the conversation on mindset. So what I want to leave everyone with today, first, I'm a big believer in mindset. Every chapter of the Embrace You book starts with a mindset shift, and the whole thing is based on mindset. So transitioning from transforming weight loss misconceptions into lifelong wellness. So I want to say the number one thing that I mindset that I made was releasing perfectionism. You're never going to be perfect, but you can make progress every day with every choice you make. But the second thing is releasing that I'm on a diet. This short term mentality sabotages you. And Brandon really hit the nail on the head. And Rick, embrace that I'm building a better lifestyle. I'm building a better lifestyle with each choice. And so, as someone who has maintained this weight loss for now 8 years, and I'm sitting with men who have gone for 15 years, y'all, men, I hope we have shared with you today that just focus on that one thing at a time, that one workout at the time, one bite at a time, eliminating one stressor at a time, embracing one new tool at a time, just so you don't get overwhelmed on this lifetime journey. And remember that there's no autopilot. As your body changes, you're going to need to embrace new changes along the journey. Like Brandon said, year 2 was not the same as year 16. Year 1 for me was not the same as year 8. So just be open to the process. So release that I'm on a diet, release these short term fixes, and embrace with each choice, I'm building a better lifestyle. So, with that said, I like to thank everyone for checking in today. Thank you for your chats in the your comments in the chat. Dr. Keena, Dr. Angela, we miss you. We can't wait to be all together again on the stage. Thank you, Irma, for checking in from Huntsville, Alabama, for everyone who's been watching. And just to remind you, this has been another episode of the Embrace You Hot Topics in Weight Loss show. Today we have talked about mindset, make up your mind, weight loss and mindset. And we have had two powerful guests on the stage, Coach Rick Childs. I'm going to let them do their outros, and Coach Brandon Wood, who have shared with us. I've met them in the Overcoming Obesity Club, where we're a group of people from different professions who have all personally gone on our own weight loss term wellness gain journey and done it a little bit differently. So we have shared today what some of our body triggers were, and then also the mindset for maintenance and how to maintain. It's not a diet, but it's really a mindset, and mental health and our mental well-being is key to that. And we're going to talk more about that on the next show. But for now, I want you to know how to connect with Mr. Brandon and Rick. So if you could just tell the people again who you are and where they can connect with you. Okay, go ahead,
I'll go
Brandon.
ahead and go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Um, you can follow me on Instagram at bmwood77, or you can find me Sunday nights. Now that my Overcoming Obesity family has been on a hiatus slightly on Thursdays, but on Sunday nights at 6 Eastern Time, 3 Pacific, me and Rick hold a Power of Choice room. Otherwise, if you're ever on Clubhouse or if you need some help, you can instant message me on Instagram, and I'll be happy to connect with you guys from that standpoint. And just remember, you are your most important asset. Take some time to be intentional about how you're going to treat yourself. We can be kind to everyone else, and we're harsh to ourselves. And we have to learn that nobody in your life is more important than you, because availability is your greatest ability.
Ooh, that's hot. I love that, Brandon. Yes, y'all follow him because he drops these nuggets. Then you'll see how the brother walks like 40,000 steps in a day. I don't know how he does the stuff he does. So do follow him. All right, Coach Rick.
All right. Thank you again, Dr. Sylvia, and my man Brandon. You already know, man, how I feel about you. Hey, so I'm Rick Childs again. I'm a health renewal coach, a speaker, and an air fryer king. So you can reach me at Childs Rick on IG. Also, the at excuse me, the Real Team Childs, also on IG. Like Brandon said, we're on Clubhouse every Sunday. Come get your mind right. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. if you're on the West Coast time. It's a great room. It revolves around mindset. And one of the biggest things, and it's a whole list of things that has allowed me and helped me to stay consistent. But one of the things is DYON, do your own nutrition. Learn to do your own nutrition. Take the middleman out. Find things that work for you. Get the things that will keep you connected. You hear at the end of my intro is Air Fry King. That was the game changer for me. I believe more in texture than taste. And that's what helped me to stay on track. And I was still able to lose 122 pounds air frying, if you can believe it or not. So great talk today. And I appreciate being on this platform with
Well, thank you, Rick. And what I love both about both of you and have so much respect for you because y'all are real people. And I hope that everyone watching today share this in your feed. All right, it's Men's Health Month coming up next month, right? So there's a myth that men don't care about their health. Men don't take care of themselves. But we have two living examples, right, that have been doing it for a long time. And I kid you not, I'm going to share this with my man in my life, my hubby, because sometimes hearing this information from another man really helps it stick in. So I appreciate you, brothers, for leading by example and living well. And I pray that God will continue to bless you, amplify your message, and continue to keep you healthy and well. Thank you, everyone, again for watching this. I have been your host, Dr. Sylvia Gonson-Bowley, your innovative, integrative bariatrician, obesity specialist, best-selling author, speaker, and the founder of Embrace You Weight and Wellness, where we specialize in personalized weight loss and helping people heal their relationship with foods. If you'd like to learn more about my approach, what we do, and need more tips on mindset shifts, grab a copy of my book, the Embrace You book. Every chapter starts with a mindset shift, and we talk about stress, we talk about sleep, we talk about the weight gain triggers, happy weight, healthy weight, all of it is all in one place to help you get clear and to feel comfortable and confident on your journey as well. So thank y'all again, and I will see you in 2 weeks where I will have 2 lovely guests, maybe 3, and we're going to be talking about food breakups, break up to make up. Okay, no singing. All right, let's go. Brandon usually leads us out with the song, so that's why I was getting ready. So we're going to talk about food relationships in 2 weeks. Can't wait to see y'all. Share this broadcast. Bye, y'all. Bye, everyone. Bye, Brandon. Bye, Rick. Bye, beautiful people. Bye, Dr. Keena, Dr. Angela, Irma. Bye, everyone. Dr. Ellis.